Don't trip.
Don't trip.
Don't trip.
Don't even trip. We got you.
What's up, y'all? You back on Don't Trip Podcast. It's your host, David. We back with my boy, Jay. Say what's up.
What's good, everybody?
And today we are joined by a special guest, Miss Isha from 20-something on Netflix. We're out in LA at the moment. Oh, go ahead. Say what's up to the people.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I'm a little shy. I got shy in the beginning, but I'll warm up.
Yeah. We're going to get into some details. She's going to tell us all about herself. She'll get ready for these questions. Don't worry. She got some advice coming for y'all. She's going to give her best advice.
I'm a wise sage.
So we are in LA at the moment, so we're getting as many cool guest stars as we can. If y'all got any guest stars you want to see on the show, we're also doing virtual stuff. So just submit them in our DMs. We can reach out to them, see what we can get. And if you go spam their inbox, go get Will Smith for me. Spam his inbox. I want Will Smith on the show. We can do some simping and pimping. But on today's episode, we got the regular for you. We got the Don't Trip questions. Don't trip, we're advice and no price. We get questions submitted by fans, supporters, and just anybody we know. Actually, a lot of our friends submit questions as well. Just questions about life and how to handle different scenarios, whether it be sports, whether it be relationships, whether it be just growing up. We handle it all, man. We're just two guys giving the best advice we can. Not just two guys, sorry. We're the whole family giving the best advice we can. We got girls, guys, we got everything around the corner. So that's what we got for you today, the Don't Trip questions. And we got one Switcheroo question for y'all. I'll explain Switcheroo once we get to that segment, but mostly we're going to be focused on our guest star and kind of what she's experienced and getting y'all to know her a little bit, get to know our guest star so we can get the best advice we got, man. So let's get into it. Tell us a little bit about you, what you want to tell the people.
Okay, so my name's Isha Punja. I'm 25 years old, and I think a lot of people maybe would know me from 20-somethings, which was a Netflix reality show that I was on that aired in December. Other than that, I think a big part of my identity and kind of what I push out on social media and stuff is I have a clothing line. It's called Hut Mentality, and everything is sourced from Indigenous artisans in India. So that has been a big passion project and I think kind of like a life pursuit of mine. And then after the show, I guess I've become an influencer. I live in LA, I'm an influencer. Yeah. And I do modeling. So those are like kind of the three things that I think I'm like focusing my energy on right now. And yeah, I think 2022 has been a great year. I've learned a lot about myself and kind of grown, I think, into my confidence and my womanhood in a lot of ways. So there's a lot, I think, of insight that I'm happy to share.
Okay.
That's good.
I have so many questions off that, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you want to go first or me go first?
Oh, sorry. I was looking there.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about your Netflix experience and how did you get into that? Did they reach out to you or what? How did that go down?
Yeah, I mean, I did apply on, they had, like a website and I applied through there, but I didn't really expect too much from it. Like, I didn't think I was, going to get in or anything. I was in an interesting phase in my life at the time. I had quit my job. I was living in LA working in sales, and then I quit that and moved back home to work on my line Hut Mentality. And while I was working on it, I just kind of felt like there wasn't that much going on for me in my life. So I think that's kind of those periods in life when we push ourselves out of our comfort zone and we really do new things and put ourselves into new experiences. That's something that I wouldn't have done or applied for had I been in a relationship, had I been tied down to a specific 9-to-5 job. So now I think I'm always kind of excited when there isn't a lot of stuff happening for me because I'm like, oh, this means there's so many things brimming with potential.
Yeah, for sure.
Great outlook. That's dope.
I just wonder, I always wonder if people who go on reality shows grow up wanting to be on a reality show, watching shows. Was that you, or were you kind of, oh, this is an opportunity, I think I'll just go for it?
I've always watched, I grew up watching America's Next Top Model, literally my favorite show ever. And I always felt like my friends, when I announced, I kept it a secret until right before the show aired. And then I posted all over my Instagram and stuff. My friends a lot of them were like, this is so something you would do. You would end up on a reality show. So.
Hey. You was a star or whatever.
I mean, I think it's just I would always come to them with the most dramatic stories, dating stories or weird things that would happen to me. And it's in a lot of ways, I think a lot of my friends always said you're the sort of person who would randomly end up on a reality show. Not an Emmy winning, Euphoria, but a reality show. But yeah, the show, I never thought I was going to end up on a reality show, but to some degree, I think I did think I would end up on some form of something.
Something
in entertainment.
Gotcha. I feel you.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, in the show, we see a lot of you, promoting your clothing brand, taking it to different boutiques, trying to get them to sell your stuff. So how have you seen that transition into now the real world that's not in the show? How has that boosted your clothing brand a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think the line definitely started blowing up a lot after the show, and a lot of people were really, we suddenly grew so much in followers, and there was like all of this demand all of a sudden. I had been making such a small inventory that I wasn't used to scaling up that quickly, and so that was a little bit daunting, and that's why a lot of the people who followed, a lot of them have stayed, but there's some of them who have gotten kind of disgruntled and they've unfollowed because they feel like everything's always out of stock, and I'm like, I mean, part of being a sustainable brand and being slow fashion is not greenwashing like H&M and a lot of these brands that, they say they're sustainable and they make things out of eco-friendly fibers and stuff. But if you look at where they're getting their clothes made and the actual garment production, it's oftentimes exploitative, and it's by they're underpaying their garment workers, and it's women of color in, Bangladesh and India. And so for me being Indian, coming from a country where a lot of times our garment workers are exploited, it's important that I empower them through the production process. So if that means things are going to take a few extra months, they're going to take a few extra months.
End of your business. That's dope. Yeah. Okay. Off the you being Indian thing, are you first gen here? Or are you?
Yeah. So my dad is actually a citizen.
Okay.
But he was born in India and then came to America for college, and then applied for citizenship and became a citizen. And my mom moved here when she got married to my dad, but she never applied for citizenship.
Okay. See, I'm Nigerian, so doing this media stuff, being on TV, talking about the stuff I talk about, wasn't exactly my parents' plan for me, right? Growing up. Yeah. So was that kind of, how did your parents feel about like you going on a Netflix show, or like were they supportive of it? Did they have any like of conflicting opinions or anything like that?
I think initially my mom was a little bit worried. I do remember her telling me, you can go on the show, but don't kiss any boys. And I was like, that's literally impossible. Like, especially a show called 20-something. Like, come on. Like, I'm living in a house with 4 girls and 4 guys. Like, there's I was like, you should be happy if I don't do more. Right. But yeah, so then when we did end up filming the kissing scenes, I remember I was just thinking like, oh, I'm going to be like disowned when I go home and stuff. But the producers and the show and Netflix overall were very, like, everything was very authentic, and I never felt like I had to do anything I didn't want to do. Yeah. So I think like ultimately when the final edits came and the show aired and I looked at myself, I was like, that's who I am. Yeah. That is who I am. So it's like at the end of the day, my parents were proud of it because they were like, she just went on TV and was herself.
Good. That's good. Yeah, I know a lot of these reality TV shows, they give certain people different edits. Yeah. And people kind of get frustrated. So I'm glad that you liked what they came out, portrayed you pretty good. So.
Yeah, you got to be you. So for after the reality TV show, you live in LA. Do you get like noticed a lot? Do people come up to you a lot, be like, oh, you're from 20-somethings? Like, has that changed how you view yourself or like act in public or anything like that?
Yeah, I would say it does happen. Yeah. Less so now, but I remember when, I would say all through like January, February, March, like all through like early spring, like everywhere I went, like especially if I went anywhere, for some reason Santa Monica and Venice, that crowd is really into reality. And so if I go to the bungalow, even now if I go to the bungalow, like people, like especially girls are like, oh my god, it's Isha, and like they're like asking about hot mentality, they're asking about my relationship, like they know. It's crazy, like when a stranger comes up to you and they know about your life, like they don't know you from like a show where you're an actress, they know you from a show where you are yourself. So like I think in a lot of ways I'm happy that I did a reality show because I'm like, I got to be myself.
That's true.
You know?
That's facts. You don't really think about
Bro, because like when you never watched Power, right?
Nah, I didn't.
So Power was a show like and this kid, his name's Tariq, that's the son. And he doesn't listen to his dad at all, right? And like when he was going out in public, the actor, everyone's like, bro, why are you listening to your dad? Like yelling at him and stuff. Like, bro, it's a show. Like I'm not, that's I'm not acting. Me. Yeah, but for reality TV, like she said, you're actually yourself, so you're not gonna get that stuff. So that's dope for real. Like you get to be yourself. I actually know
Gianni a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Gianni, from really? How'd you meet him?
Social media.
Okay. See, we actually wanted to do a collab with their podcast because I saw him and Michael Rainey, right? Yeah, they have a little podcast going. It's dope. Oh my god. We might have to connect with that because that guy's funny. I liked his character for sure. Yeah. He was like Tommy Jr.
I actually
for
just
sure.
remember him from the movie Ma. I feel like I just like loved that movie.
Yeah.
You guys remember that one with Octavia Spencer?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like the jock.
Okay. Yeah. No,
that was a movie.
That was
a crazy movie.
They seem dope for sure.
Yeah. I like horror movies and scary things.
Well, going off that, like you mean people from social media in LA or whatever. How has that affected your dating life and
Yeah.
Where are you at right now with your dating life?
Oh, with my dating. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am single.
Single. Pringles are Pringles.
And I think it's been fun. Like I've now recently been on like Raya and like I'm on Raya and Hinge. I don't love
What's Raya? I haven't heard that one.
Raya's
Is that
like
an LA thing?
yeah, it's in everywhere. Like they have it everywhere, but maybe it is more like predominant in LA. But it's like a dating app for. It's kind of like a Soho House for dating, I guess. It's like a dating app for people who are like in media and entertainment, and even people who aren't necessarily like public figures, but they like work in entertainment in some capacity. So yeah, Hinge. I keep pausing and unpausing my profile because literally guys will match with me and then be like, "Oh no, you and Michael broke up." Like that's what they say.
Wow,
like,
that's the opener, y'all.
That's like
now.
just so like stupid.
Yeah,
like,
or
like, "Oh my god, I watched you on 20 somethings." I'm like, this is just like awkward.
Yeah.
You watched me in a relationship on 20 somethings.
Right.
So like, if you watched my reality show, now you want to date me, like you know everything about my ex-boyfriend. So,
it's a little offsetting.
Yeah.
I feel that. That's
That's not a way to start a relationship. Right?
yeah. Hit her with a pickup line, y'all. Why you just come on?
Even
now.
if you did watch it, I feel like if I saw someone from a show that I watched, I would just like play it off like I have no idea.
Right. You act like you know who they are.
Hey, bro.
And we was just talking about that.
Come
If I
on.
saw someone, I would act like I didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
And then,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
Oh.
Jay.
I lost my point.
You said if I saw someone, I had to act like I didn't know who they were.
Oh, yeah. So, like, it doesn't seem like I'm coming off as, like, I want them because they're this person or
Yeah.
they were involved in this. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because I'm really not that type of person.
Mhm.
Like, if I find you attractive or whatever, I want to talk to you. I want to get to know you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not because you're famous.
Yeah, that's another thing too. It's like that's like an odd thing. I think when they start with that.
Yeah.
But I have been having fun with dating, but I will say that sometimes when you're in a relationship, you lose a little bit of, or maybe I did, like who am I kind of outside of the relationship, and
Yeah.
so in a lot of ways, I'm just enjoying also just like realizing who I actually am and realizing that I wasn't myself
Yeah.
in many ways in the relationship.
I
So
feel like
now I'm
that's
like
a-
rediscovering myself. you
For
know?
sure.
That's a big part in a relationship. You need to be able to be independent without your partner. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people do lose in the relationship. So finding that independence, I feel like it's going to help you a lot in your next relationship because you won't be 100% dependent on this person. Obviously, you're going to love them and everything,
Yeah.
but you still know who you
Would
are.
you say that's like the biggest thing you learned, like looking back on it, not lose track of yourself?
Yeah, I've learned so much about myself actually through that. And I think the biggest thing, that I've learned is like, I think the part that I miss the most is actually not even the other person, but who I was in the relationship,
Yeah.
like the vulnerability, waking up next to somebody in the morning and not having to worry about how you look or how I'm eating in front of somebody. And I'm like, well, these are all me things. Like that has nothing to do with the other person. Like that is something that's actually just like this person was a stimuli for me to be vulnerable and authentic, which is what I'm actually missing. It's
Yeah.
my own authenticity, my own vulnerability. So that's actually something that I can practice doing even with guys I'm casually dating.
Yeah.
And I think another thing I learned is, why am I dating somebody? So if I'm going to meet somebody and I'm enjoying somebody's company, I do sometimes have to be present with myself and say, am I doing this because I need something from them? Do I need validation from this guy? Or am I doing this because I want to share myself and my energy, and I have a lot of affection and like insight and like fun things, even love. Like I think you can be casually dating somebody and like platonically to some degree, even like love somebody and like, but not expect. Like I think I'm just like not in a phase where I'm not expecting very much and like not needing very much. So like if I'm talking to a guy and then like it stops, I don't want to be like all upset over it.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Until you actually find that one person that can actually sustain whatever.
No, if
You're not looking for nobody like that?
well, I just don't know if I like believe in that.
In what?
Like if there is like that one person.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Guys have proven to be quite disappointing.
I'm not gonna get to you. We can be troublesome.
Yeah, no,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
No cap.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying this because I'm not even like bitter or cynical. I felt this way actually before my relationship, and I'm realizing it's a 20s thing actually.
Yeah.
Like it's like I just feel like a lot of men in their 20s have some. You guys are both.
I'm 25.
It's all good.
That's 24.
Okay, my person, I'm speaking truly from the heart. I think a lot of men in their 20s have a tendency to love bomb, breadcrumb, poor communication, all of these things.
Okay.
Right?
Can you
Let's
explain the
let's
first-
back it up.
Yeah, I don't know
What's
what a
love bomb
or
and breadcrumb?
Okay. So love bombing is like a certain type of guy who will. Now this one actually turns me off right from the get go.
Okay.
But it's when
Do you know right away?
Yeah, and I actually get icked out because I'm like, you're coming on so strong, I don't even know you.
Ick.
Yeah,
There's that word.
I get an ick from that. So I'm not. Some girls fall for it, but I actually like. I like when guys play a little mysterious in the beginning.
Mhm.
Like I like the mystery of knowing how do they feel about me, but not in a toxic.
So love bomb
Love
is when they
bomb.
come on too strong.
They're like, oh my god, like love, like they text you a bunch. They're like, you're
Yeah.
so amazing. You're the coolest girl I've ever met. You're not like other girls. Huge red flag.
Oof.
Okay.
Like what does that mean? Like you can say things like, wow, you're so interesting. You're so dynamic. You're so intriguing. You don't have to say like compare me to other women.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a red flag. And then I think another one is breadcrumbing is when you like somebody and you have a connection with somebody and a lot of times I've noticed guys will only give you how much they feel like you can accept. So like if they really like you and they're willing to give you the world, but you tolerate lower vibrational energy,
Whoa.
they will give you only that. And that's not how women are. Like if I like somebody, will just give them everything. And this is why I sometimes have issues with men. I'm like, why are you guys like this?
Oh.
Like
That's so. I've never thought about that breadcrumbing. That's facts.
Like if a guy really likes a girl and he would be willing to take her
Yeah.
out on a nice dinner at a rooftop bar, but he calls her at midnight and she's down to go over at midnight,
Yeah.
then he's only ever going to call her at
Okay.
midnight. But then the thing is, like, if that's what I want, I don't really care. But I notice it.
Think
Yeah.
about that, because whenever like a guy messes up and the girl's mad that she wasn't doing enough, like he was doing like what he thought was okay to get by, and then once he loses her, then he's now, oh, I'll do all this extra
Right.
stuff now because
Right.
that's what is required to keep it.
Right. Why not do it from the jump?
Do it because you want to, not because that's what you can get away with.
Wow,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
breadcrumbing.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
breadcrumbing.
That's
You
kind
learn
of
something
Or-
new every day.
actually.
Yeah, or even like when you're talking when you're talking to a guy, you can tell he's giving you just the bare like every 3-4 days is just a little communication, a little
Yeah.
like, a little respond to a story,
Yeah.
a little whatever. That sort of behavior I don't even really engage with anymore, but I
So-
used to have a lot.
So I'm big on reciprocating energy.
Mhm.
So I'm only gonna give you as much as you give me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
If I'm not gonna give more,
Oh.
and if you're not giving me anything back, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I like to be pursued.
Okay.
So like I like when a guy like kind of pursues me a lot.
Uh-huh.
And then I start reciprocating. But
Okay.
in the early stages, I honestly don't pursue at all.
Right. I'm not gonna go after you if you're like I don't feel that it coming back to me.
You're
You know what
not
I'm saying? If you
persistent.
playing hard to
Yeah,
get,
man.
I'm gonna be like, okay, it is what it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah.
I might, press a little bit, but if you keep going after a while, I'm gonna be like,
You don't double text.
yeah, nah. No.
Nah, I'm persistent. You got to show a little persistence. Come on.
He says with the persistency.
You got-
I
you-
don't. I
okay.
don't.
Okay, we differ on that, but that's
I need the energy right away.
What's your zodiac sign?
guess.
Whoa!
Wait, Jay,
You
what
cannot
are
just
you?
come at me with the.
Hey, what are you?
I'm an Aquarius.
Okay, I'm an Aquarius moon. That makes a lot of sense.
When,
Oh,
when
wow.
were you born?
Me?
Yeah, what's your birth?
27th, 1987.
May 27th.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
What about you?
January 20th.
Oh, that's Aquarius?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's like right on the cutoff.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's your sign.
yeah.
That's good. Good
That
for
is an
you.
What am I giving off? What vibe am I giving off?
I would have thought potentially Taurus,
Taurus.
but maybe, yeah.
That's this guy.
What's your zodiac sign?
I'm an Aries.
Oh,
Yeah.
an
Does
Aries.
that
So you
give up
pursue.
an Aries?
Yes, fire sign.
I'm a Gemini, actually.
Oh.
I'm not Aries.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but does that work?
I'm also
still?
a Gemini.
Wait. Time out. You just said
Wait,
you were.
what?
Time
I
out.
thought you can't-
Hold on. You said
You only have one.
Oh, yeah. No, you can have 3. I'm an Aquarius moon. Gemini sun.
I'm a Gemini born June.
Okay, you're Gemini sun.
Okay. Cool.
Sorry, there's like multiple.
Am I right? Was I right?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
Wait. Okay. So, which one is your birthday one?
Oh, that's the sun sign. So that's your main one.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay. So,
Okay.
is that the one that you like mainly take after?
Yes.
Okay.
They say, I actually heard recently, your sun sign is the theme of the book. Your rising sign is the cover of the book, like what everyone else sees you as. And your moon sign is like the pages, like your day-to-day life themes.
Okay, so what I'm getting from this is you're very big into signs. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. I'm very
Okay.
big into
So
astrology.
is this like one of the first 10 questions you ask when you're getting to know somebody? Like, what's your sign?
Okay, I will say it does come up, but it's not one of those things where like if someone's a sign that I don't like,
It's not a deal breaker.
Good.
it's not a deal breaker.
Okay.
It might affect a little bit of how I feel.
A little bit?
Like if they end up doing something that pisses me off, I'm like, well, he's a
Type. Okay.
Okay, as long as it's not a deal breaker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then I'm cool with it. I'm
Yeah.
cool with it. That's like my number one pet peeve when a girl, like within the first 5 minutes of meeting, was like, "What's your number one sign?" Or "What's your sign?"
What time were you born?
What time was I born?
Yeah.
No. I'm saying I'm like.
That's one of the questions that you don't want to be
Hold on,
asked.
what?
That's one of the questions
I don't
you do
even
not
know
want
what
to be
time I
asked.
was born, to be
Yeah,
honest.
don't. It's cool. You don't
You?
need to.
Yes,
What time were you born?
3:39 p.m.
3:39 p.m.
Yeah.
I was born in the morning.
I was
know
born in
that.
the morning too. I think sometime. I can't remember though.
My dad was born January 1st, 1201.
Oh, he was born. Okay,
Yeah.
that man was
New
right on the
Year's.
cusp.
That's crazy.
Isn't it?
Part of why I'm into astrology so much, though, it is rooted in my culture.
Gotcha.
So you have the astrology girls, like, I mean, no offense, but like, you know, like the white girl astrology, like,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have like what I think a lot of it is like the appropriated version of it, and then like in India, like astrology is like such a big cultural
Right.
thing that's kind of like it's like Vedic astrology, and even as babies, like my whole family got astrological readings done on us to predict our whole life before,
Oh, wow.
right when we were born.
Really?
So I kind of like approach it from that angle a little bit, but recently the astrology gets a bad rap among a lot of
Yeah,
girls.
just because it's like everyone's trying to do too much a little bit.
A little
Right.
bit, a little bit. Yeah.
All right, let's hit this first question. You ready?
Okay.
I really love my boyfriend.
Mhm.
What age should I start thinking about marriage? Don't trip. We got you.
Okay. So I answer.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I mean, I personally would not think about marriage in my 20s.
Really?
Marriage is not like anything that's on the cart. on
Even
the
like
table.
29?
29. Okay. So yeah.
This man said right on the cusp.
Yeah, maybe around 29,
Okay.
30. I think 30 is like a good age to get married
Mhm.
because then you can have kids in your 30s around like a few years after that.
Mhm.
But I think, like, I was just thinking about this actually. Like, I don't think I'd want to get married anytime before 28.
Yeah.
So,
Do you think like the amount of time that you're dating someone should affect when you start thinking about marriage? Like, should you get married after a year of dating someone, or it has to be like a certain amount of time? You feel?
I would say not anything before a year.
Okay.
But I do think, like, if after a year you do know somebody pretty much. And then after that, it's just like a matter of being comfortable with them. But like, I would say a year is like how long it takes to really know somebody.
That makes sense. Respectable. Jay, you got any marriage tips, man?
Nah, what was the question really though?
What age should she start thinking about marriage?
What age should
Yeah.
she? I don't know. I feel like most girls have an ideal age of what they want to be married by.
Yeah.
And it's kind of unrealistic for most girls.
Mhm.
Where they'll be like, I want to be married by 25, have a kid by 27, and then be retired by 35 or what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
pretty young
yeah.
to be retired. But and then they get upset when it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
So I don't think you should put like a age limit on it.
Should we go
You can't
with
put time on love, so you just gotta let it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That might be a rule right there. You can't put time on love. You just gotta let it happen. We might have to write that one down, okay? See.
But what if I have a question. What if you're dating someone, say you're dating someone right now, right? And it's like 3 years from now, so you're 28. You guys thinking about marriage or
I think a lot of
waiting
it also
little
depends
bit?
on how old the guy is.
Okay.
Right? Like if you're dating somebody who is, I've dated, guys who are like older than me, younger than me. So in like the guy's younger,
You're waiting a little bit?
I think I'd want to wait.
Okay.
But I think unfortunately, in a lot of ways, it is kind of on the guy. It's kind of like
That's
what
true.
the guy wants,
That's
right?
true.
But I think if we had been dating for 3 years and like the conversation of marriage, like, when you say like, oh, when we're married someday, like when you're talking to your partner.
Yeah.
If that conversation doesn't come up and you've been dating for 3 years, run for the hills.
Actually, you're right.
Future.
Good point.
Like big red flag with
Yeah.
I think me and my exes, we never had that conversation. I didn't initiate it. He didn't initiate. We were both just like, we are never
Yeah.
getting married.
Yeah.
And while we were dating, we knew it.
Yeah.
So it was like,
What's the point?
yeah, that conversation just never
For sure.
came up, which is
For
also,
sure.
I think like after a year, we dated for almost a year. I think like after like even 6 months, if you kind of like start to see feelings like that with someone, like, and having like joking around about it and
Mhm.
stuff like that is like normal.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
yeah.
That is a good. That's a
Is
good.
it ever too early to like talk about it?
Talk about it?
I think
Yeah.
if I was dating someone and like they started talking about it like after a few months,
Yeah.
I would probably.
For sure.
Okay,
Is that a red
yeah.
flag?
It's not a red flag. It's just like, I'm in a stage in my life where I'm focusing a lot on my career and whatever. Like, I think I could enter a relationship, but like marriage and stuff, like not for me right now. Not
Just
until
the
my
M word is scary, huh?
a little scary, and I think I'm still discovering who I am.
For sure.
In
Yeah.
a lot of ways.
That's a good point, Mo. Great red flags. Great advice. That's I like it. I like it all. All right. Next question is, me and my boyfriend just broke up, and I'm not sure how to move on. Do you have any advice? Don't trip.
We got you.
Yeah, I have a lot of advice for this one. Okay, so I got over mine really quickly.
Okay.
And I think a big thing is letting yourself feel those emotions. So I feel things very deeply. I love very hard, and so it hurts really hard when I lose certain things. Friendships, relationships, even like career things. Like I'm very emotional. So like the emotions hit so hard that then it's like I'm in that for a few weeks and then it completely goes away.
Yeah.
So I think a big thing is like, as hard as it may be, for at least 2 to 3 weeks, like I think try to just feel everything. I remember when mine happened, I actually like went to San Francisco, booked a 10 p.m. like red-eye flight to San Francisco, and then like literally like stayed with my sister for a few days. I would go on long walks around the city, like over a mile long, and I would just like cry and listen to music. And then after a few days, I was over it.
Just let it all out.
I kind of had let it all out. So, and then I was like, when I was ready to, I went back on like, apps and whatever and started talking to guys. And
Yeah.
now I don't really think about, like days go by and I don't think about it. So
just let yourself kind of go through that process of healing. Like,
Yeah, I think a lot of people, why it's so hard is they fight those feelings.
facts.
And they don't want to feel that way. And then they end up chasing that person and, well, maybe it'll work out. And they're hoping and praying and, you know what I'm saying? Just not accepting that fact that it's over.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's another thing. You cannot have any expectations. If there's even like, regardless of what the situation is and who breaks up with who or what happens, like just like having that expectation is like, there's a reason that things end. It's not healthy to
For
go
sure.
back to an ex, I don't think.
For sure.
That's true. And I feel like the only healthy way is if like y'all met 5 years later and rekindled maybe over coffee or something, and
You're completely different people.
both of you had grown a lot and
for sure.
realized why the breakup, why it happened, blah blah blah. Maybe
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, like when you said that, I was just thinking about Insecure.
Oh, okay.
And I was shipping them like the whole time, and then in the end, I'm like, oh, finally, because the whole time I was like, oh, she's so stupid. Like, why is she not pursuing it?
And then they took the little break.
What y'all
Because
talking
every
about?
time he wanted her,
Well, TV.
the show Insecure on HBO.
Oh, I don't
was
watch
so
that one.
good. I think it's my favorite show. One of my favorite shows. But I watched I binged the whole thing in like a week. But the whole time when she was into him, he had other girls, and when he was into her, she was
They were
into
just
someone else.
back and forth type.
Yeah. So timing does play.
I think it does play a fight, especially with those what ifs, what was like if only type things. I feel like that plays a factor for sure. So, hey, all right, that is our questions for today. But we're gonna get to this last segment. It's called Switcheroo. So Switcheroo is a segment where we flip it on them. Like if we had some girls, they would ask us questions that guys ask maybe that they are unanswerable. We'll try to get that into y'all, but right now we have our girl guest stars, and we're gonna ask her a question that when we receive this question from a girl, we kind of don't know how to answer the question properly. So we're trying to get the best interpretation or way to answer this question. So our question is, how do you respond when your girl asks you or shows you a girl and says, is this girl pretty?
Oh, I have a lot of experience on this one.
Let's hear it. How do we respond to that one?
Okay. I think a big thing is, I think a big red flag is guys who say that, comment on how attractive other women are to a girl that they're dating, and they bring it up.
Yeah.
That if you are like dating somebody monogamously, at least if it's a serious relationship, even if it's like a celebrity or something, like I just don't think it's respectful to be bringing up like how hot you think Doja Cat is to the girl
weird.
that you're sleeping with, or like
That's weird.
Just weird. It's really bizarre. Like, just keep it to yourself. But I think if your girl does bring up like, hey, like, do you think this girl's pretty? And she shows it to you, I think like looking and saying, oh yeah, she's pretty. Like
just a quick little.
yeah, she's pretty. Not like, oh my god, she's so hot. Or,
Yeah,
oh, let me
yeah.
go look at the rest of her Instagram. Like all that stuff is
Right.
weird. But just being like honest and kind of just like, oh yeah, no, she's attractive, but not in a way that's like you can tell is like it's all about the tone.
Yeah.
You know.
You know what I always say?
What?
She all right.
I would be like, yeah, she cool.
She cool.
She not you, but she cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that never hurts. Oh, when guys say that,
exactly.
yes,
She
I like
not
that.
you. You feel me?
They're like, oh, this girl is so pretty, and they're like, yeah, but like she's not you.
Mhm.
Right.
Something.
You know what I mean? You gotta keep it pimping, y'all. Come on. You gotta keep it
Free
smooth.
game right
Free
there.
game
There you
right
go.
there.
That's the way to
And
answer.
that, honestly, that should be how it is. Like when people ask me, my girl, they're like, okay, yeah, this girl's so bad, blah blah blah. Like you should get out. I'm like, have you seen my girl, bro? Like
Right.
what?
I got a
what
bad
is-
girl. Hold
Come on, I'm good. Like
Yeah,
it's smooth.
yeah.
So you gotta love your lady physically, mentally, all that stuff, and respect her to some aspect. But yeah, that's a good. I like that. So just say it without being too assertive, even if you do think the person is very attractive.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't start doing research.
Yeah, be like, hold on.
I would like to also bring up a huge red flag.
Let's hear it.
When you're dating somebody. I'm talking relationships,
Okay.
not situations. But if you're in a monogamous relationship with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
it is a huge. And I know a lot of guys don't believe this or don't agree with this, but as a woman, let me say, and talking to my friends, huge red flag if you're in a relationship and you are liking other girls' thirst traps bikini photos on Instagram.
Not the thirst chest.
Huge red flag. Actually, grounds for a breakup. And
Yeah.
I wish I knew that.
Oh, for a breakup.
Yeah.
Okay, like how many chances you giving them though? Like one or two?
Depends on how early in the relationship, but like they shouldn't be doing they shouldn't be like doing it and then you have to call them out and they're like, you know, the gaslighting and the this and that, like, and
Yeah.
Right.
it should just be like, it's the difference between are you sleazy or are you like a good boyfriend who I can trust? Because that's the sort of shit that leads to trust issues that ultimately will fuck up a relationship later on.
Yeah.
It's little things like that women pick up on. Like you can look and appreciate, but
Mhm.
sending the like is actually the equivalent of going up to that girl on the beach and saying, I think you look hot.
That's
And that girl, because a lot of girls with boyfriends, their boyfriends like my thirst traps. And in my head, I'm thinking, that's embarrassing for her. Like this guy isn't even like, he's like literally like liking my, like,
Right.
yeah.
you
Right.
know, like
Thirst traps are meant
control
for
your man.
single
Right.
people that like
Yeah.
you're trying to get at, not for
sure.
people that are in relationships.
Yeah.
That
I get a really bad gut feeling when when one of my friends' boyfriends or anyone I know
Yeah.
boyfriend likes my thirst trap.
And what do you do in that situation? Do you tell your friend or you kind of keep it to
It hasn't
yourself?
happened with anyone I'm like super close with. But it has happened with like I remember a girl from work. She brought her boyfriend to a work party, and he gave me a little bit of that vibe. And then he followed me on Instagram, and I was like, And so I just like followed him back because I met him. But then he liked my bikini photo or something. I
He
posted,
did a
and
little-
I was like, not an old one, but one I posted.
Okay, okay. I thought
I was about
back.
to
I was
say
like,
he doing the like in the picture. Oh yeah, no.
Because it's like that's kind of sending also the message that like I'm in a relationship right now, but like if I was single, I'd be so down for you.
Wow,
That's
that's a
the
good
message
point.
that's sending.
Yeah, it definitely is.
You know?
That's wild, man.
Yeah, it
that's
is.
it's just like even like my girl best friends in the world. If they post a swimsuit picture, I'm not liking it. I'm
Right.
sorry. Like you cool and all, but like unless you're covered up properly and like not I know which pictures are meant to attract guys. Like
Yeah.
you're meant to like you're a good looking person, but respectfully, my girl's cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna go liking your picture, even if it's your best friend type.
And I honestly think that some girls take likes as in like, oh, that I could get.
He
with that
want
guy.
me.
Yeah,
He
wants
want me.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel
And
that.
not all girls, but a lot of them
Yeah.
do take it that way.
I feel
So
that. So hey, that's a great red flag. That's a good point, buddy. Hey, y'all respect your women out here, man.
I'm kind of annoyed that I said it because now I think like the next guy I date, he's gonna know that this is.
He's
how
gonna know. He's gonna be like, let me unlike all this stuff real quick. So
But I want it to be authentic.
Hey, I
I
like
Like,
that.
don't do it because I would get upset.
Yeah.
you know?
I feel that. Just be yourself
Yeah.
before she accepts you. Don't try to fake
Well,
it.
I
She gonna
wouldn't even
find
call
out.
it out.
Yeah.
Actually, now at this point, I would just like
Cut it off.
cut it off immediately.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I think it's a good learning curve for dudes who are still like kind of maturing,
Yeah.
still kind of young.
But yeah, because a lot of dudes, it's not. I don't know what in your head would make you think it's okay, but
Yeah.
a lot of dudes do think like I'm just liking a picture. Like,
Right.
it's just
We don't
like a
view
picture.
a lot of dudes don't view alike as
But the reason when you sit down and think about it though.
Yeah.
Why did you like that picture?
yeah.
Why did you like that picture?
Yeah.
Because she looked good.
Yeah,
'Cause
when
she-
you really
what
sit down and
poppin'
think
was
about it
poppin'.
and hear what
Yeah.
she's saying, like and
Yeah.
why it offends her and why
Exactly.
she finds it disrespectful, it makes a lot of sense.
Exactly.
It's completely valid.
Yeah. So think about it, y'all. Just use your heads, not your Other heads.
Yeah, think with the head.
Yeah, think up. There's one up here. Yeah, think of So, hey, but that's what we got for you this episode. We really thank you for coming on. We really
thanks for
enjoyed
having
having
me.
you. That was a
Great.
dope episode for sure. Do you want to give yourself a shout out? Anything you want to say? What's up to?
Yeah, my Instagram is Isha_Punja. And if you guys are interested in my fashion line, it's called Hut Mentality. People always think it's Hot Mentality, but it's HUT.
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 Yes.
Hut mentality.
Mentality.
Yes, correct.
I
It's
like
also in
that.
my Instagram.
Yeah, and we'll put all our stuff in the descriptions. If you're listening, go check out the YouTube channel. We got the video so you can see our reactions. There was some wild stuff in this one. There's good reactions, good time. But her stuff is in the bio. Make sure you go show her some love. Go watch her show if you want to get to know her a little bit better. 20-somethings, right? Go support on
Is it still on
Netflix.
Netflix?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Netflix original series or whatever. But what you got to say?
Make sure you check out the new Snapchat show.
Mhm.
Just type in "Don't Trip" on Snapchat. Subscribe to that. Leave a rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts. Don't be afraid to hit us up and let us know what we can do better.
Yes, sir. Don't trip.
We got you.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
That's fun.